Ambassador Du Hyun smiled as another insult flew past his ears. He had gotten used to them by now. 3 years of serving as Earth's main voice in the Galactic Council had taught him patience. The tall, blue-skinned Vrel diplomat speaking now didn't even try to hide his look of disgust. Perhaps the humans need more time to understand simple galactic trade rules, the Vrel said. Their primitive death-world minds work so slowly. Do Hyun just nodded politely. Thank you for your concern. We will review the rules again. Inside, he felt a flash of anger, but his face showed nothing. Earth Command's orders were clear. Stay calm. Stay polite. Do not show our true strength yet. In the back of the Grand Council chamber, Engineer He Jin worked on fixing the air system. The aliens had built it for their own needs, not thinking about human lungs. Without her daily fixes, the Earth team would struggle to breathe. Like Du Hyun, she ignored the looks the alien officials gave her. They saw her as a simple worker, not the brilliant engineer who had designed ships that could outrun anything in the galactic fleet. Human, called a Talaxian official, his 6 eyes blinking in different patterns. The air smells wrong again. Fix it faster. He Jin bowed slightly. Right away, sir. She didn't mention that she was fixing the system they had broken themselves. Later that day, Du Hyun met with his team in the secure room of the Earth Embassy. The walls were lined with special material that blocked all listening devices. Here, they could speak freely. How much longer must we play weak? Asked Ta-Won, the military advisor. His hands, strong enough to bend metal, were balled into fists. They treat us like children. Until we are fully established, Du Hyun said simply. Earth Command believes 5 more years should be enough. He Jin sighed. The Morph representative asked me today if humans still used fire to cook food. When I told him we have molecular recomposition technology, he laughed and called me a liar. Do Hyun nodded. This was all part of the plan. Let the galaxy think humans were new, weak, and simple. Let them underestimate the creatures who had evolved on a planet with crushing gravity, deadly weather, and thousands of predators. None of the alien species knew what it meant to come from a Class 12 death world. They had evolved on safe, gentle planets. Their bodies were fragile, their reflexes slow. Humans were built to survive conditions that would kill most Galactic Council members in minutes. We have set up the new base on Proxima Centauri B, said Jai-Ho, the fleet captain. His ship, the Seol Asterisk, was officially listed as a small transport vessel. In reality, it carried weapons that could cut through a Vrel battle cruiser with ease. 50,000 settlers are now living there. The Council still thinks it's just a research outpost. Do Hyun looked at the star map showing Earth's true military positions throughout the galaxy. The aliens saw only a handful of human ships and colonies. They didn't see the hidden fleet, the secret bases, the true extent of human technology. Keep following the directive, Du Hyun told his team. We smile. We bow. We act grateful for their help. And we wait. As the meeting ended, He Jin paused at the door. What if they never respect us? What if they always see us as the primitive Deathworlders? Do Hyun's smile faded, showing for just a moment the steel beneath. Then they will learn why Deathworlders are to be feared, not mocked. But for now, we choose to be nice. None of them knew how soon that choice would change. Captain Jai-Ho was eating breakfast when the alarm sounded. He dropped his spoon and ran to the bridge of the Seol Asterisk. The ship was hiding near the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, watching over the human colony without being seen. Report, he ordered as he entered the bridge. Emergency signal from the colony, Captain, said his communications officer. They're under attack. The main screen showed 5 large ships entering orbit around Proxima Centauri B. Their design was unmistakable, Morph collective warships. The screen flickered, and the face of Colony Director Subin appeared. Her expression was tense. This is an emergency broadcast to all Earth forces, she said quickly. Morph ships have entered our orbit. They claim our planet now belongs to them under eminent domain as a strategic resource hub. They are landing troops. We need immediate. The transmission cut off. Jaiho's hands gripped the edge of his command console. How many people are down there? 50,000 colonists, sir, his officer replied. Mostly families. Jaiho wanted to order an immediate attack, but his orders were clear. No military action without direct approval from Earth Command. The Seattle could destroy all 5 morph ships easily, but revealing such power would change everything. Send the emergency code to Earth, Jaiho said, and keep us hidden. In the Grand Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Du-hyun was in the middle of a trade discussion when his aide quietly handed him a datapad. His face remained calm as he read the message, but his heart began to race. He stood up. I must interrupt this meeting. We have received word that Morph Collective ships have seized our colony on Proxima Centauri b. The room fell silent. Then the Morph representative, a tall creature named Glon whose body seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, stood up. There seems to be a misunderstanding, Glon said smoothly. The planet you call Proxima Centauri b has always been in territory claimed by the Morph Collective. Your people were there, illegally. Do-hyun kept his voice level. Our records show that planet was unclaimed when we established our colony 3 years ago. Glon's body rippled in what might have been a shrug. Your records are incorrect. The planet contains minerals essential to our people. We have simply reclaimed what is ours. Do-hyun looked around the chamber. None of the other species seemed concerned. The Vrel representative was actually smiling. And our colonists? Do-hyun asked. They will be treated fairly, Glon said. They can work in the mines until transport to Earth can be arranged. The Talaxian representative spoke up. The Morph Collective has the right to protect its resources. Perhaps humans should be more careful about where they settle in the future. Do-hyun understood the message beneath their words. The powerful species of the galaxy were putting humans in their place. They believed humans would have to accept this treatment. They had no idea what they were doing. In the secure Earth Embassy room, Engineer Hye-jin watched as Do-hyun paced back and forth. For the first time in years, the ambassador looked truly angry. 50,000 people, he said. Men, women, children, now prisoners. What will Earth Command do? Hye-jin asked. Do-hyun's personal communicator beeped. He read the message and his face changed. Hye-jin had never seen that expression before. It was cold and hard, like a mask had fallen away. Earth Command has made a decision, he said. We are to give the Morph Collective one chance to release our people and leave. One chance only. And if they refuse? Hye-jin asked, already knowing the answer. Do-hyun looked at her, and for the first time, she saw the true face of humanity's top diplomat. Behind his gentle smile had always been the same thing that lived in all humans, the survival instinct of a death world predator. Then, he said quietly, we stop being nice. President Yoon-ji sat at the head of the large table in Earth Command's underground meeting room. The walls were lined with screens showing the faces of military leaders from around the world. Everyone was silent as they watched footage from Proxima Centauri b. The images showed human colonists being marched at gunpoint into mines by Morph soldiers. They think we are weak, Yoon-ji said quietly. They think we will accept this. General Ta-won, his face on the largest screen, spoke first. Madam President, the response fleet is ready. We can reach Proxima Centauri in 3 days. The Seattle is already in position. And reveal our true military strength, asked Defense Minister Yuna. We have hidden our capabilities for 15 years. Is this the moment to show our hand? Yoon-ji looked at each face on the screens. For years, Earth had followed a careful plan. Show only outdated technology to the galaxy. Act grateful for any help. Hide the true extent of human strength. The goal was peaceful integration into the galactic community. But now, humans were being treated as slaves. We extended our hand in friendship, Yunji said. They have chosen to bite it. Now they will learn why our world is classified as a death world. The vote was unanimous. Earth would give the Morph Collective one chance to retreat, one final act of diplomacy before showing what humans were truly capable of. Ambassador Du Hyun stood before the Galactic Council the next day. Engineer He-jin watched from the back of the room. She could see that something had changed in the ambassador. He stood taller. His usual humble smile was gone. Representatives of the Galactic Council, Du Hyun began. I bring a formal request from Earth. The Morph Collective must release all human colonists and withdraw from Proxima Centauri B within 24 standard hours. A wave of laughter spread through the chamber. The Morph representative Glon's body rippled with amusement. Or what, Ambassador? Glon asked. Will your primitive ships attack our fleet? The Morph Collective has 5 warships at Proxima Centauri. Each one could destroy your entire space force. The Vrel representative joined in. Perhaps the humans should focus on more suitable activities. Your people could be valuable servants with proper training. Do Hyun didn't react to the insults. Instead, he placed a small device on the podium in front of him. A hologram appeared, showing the official document from Earth. This is our formal request, he said calmly. 24 hours to comply. This will be our final act of restraint. Glon moved closer, his liquid metal form towering over Du Hyun. And if we refuse? For the first time in all his years as ambassador, Du Hyun allowed his diplomatic mask to drop completely. The smile that spread across his face made several council members step back in shock. It was not a smile of happiness. It was the smile a predator gives right before it strikes. Then, Du Hyun said softly, you will learn why we come from a world that the Galactic Council classifies as unsuitable for visitor life forms. He-jin felt a chill as she watched. In that moment, Du Hyun didn't look like a humble diplomat. He looked like what humans truly were, the apex predators of a death world. Back on his ship, Captain Juho received new orders from Earth Command. The message was simple. Prepare for Operation Death World. Activation in 24 hours if no morph retreat. Jiho smiled as he forwarded the orders to his crew. For years, they had pretended their ship was a simple transport vessel. Now they would show the galaxy what the Seol could really do. All across human space, hidden military bases activated. Ships that had concealed their weapons now ran battle drills. Soldiers who had posed as traitors and researchers prepared for war. The 24-hour countdown had begun. Engineer He-jin checked her small bag one last time. She had packed only what she needed. Her personal tools, a few clothes, and the picture of her family. For 3 years, she had worked on the Galactic Council's central station, fixing their systems while they looked down on her. Now it was time to leave. Her communicator beeped with a simple message. Operation Death World is active. Return home. As she walked through the crowded halls of the station, He-jin noticed other humans quietly making their way toward the docking bays. Engineers, diplomats, traders, all leaving their posts without explanation. The aliens watched in confusion. Where are all the humans going? A Talaxian official asked. No one answered him. Deep in space, far from the busy trade routes, Captain Jiho's Seol underwent a remarkable transformation. Panels that had seemed like ordinary hull sections slid away, revealing weapon ports. The ship's engines glowed with power that no alien sensor had ever detected. Status report, Jiho ordered. All systems at full combat readiness, Captain, his first officer replied. The stealth field is down. Our true signature is now visible to enemy sensors. Jiho nodded. For years, the Seol had used special technology to appear as a small, harmless transport vessel. Now it showed its true nature, a warship more advanced than anything in the Morph fleet. The other ships are reporting ready as well, the communications officer said. On Jai-Ho's command screen, dozens of signals appeared. Ships that had been hiding their capabilities were now revealing themselves. Research stations that aliens had dismissed as unimportant were now showing massive power readings. In just a few hours, the galaxy would learn that humans had never shared their true technological level with the Galactic Council. In the Morph command ship orbiting Proxima Centauri b, Fleet Commander Draz received an urgent report. "Sir, we're detecting strange energy readings from the edge of the system," said a sensor operator. "Something is happening." Draz wasn't worried. The humans had been given an impossible demand: remove all Morph forces in 24 hours. Of course they couldn't comply. The humans would have to accept the loss of their colony. "It's probably just a small human ship coming to talk," Draz said. "They want to negotiate. Prepare to." He stopped as the main screen changed. Where there had been empty space before, a ship now appeared, but not the small primitive vessel he expected. This ship was massive, its surface gleaming with technology the Morphs had never seen before. "Where did that come from?" Draz demanded. "Why didn't we detect it earlier?" Before anyone could answer, more ships appeared. Not one or two, but dozens. A whole fleet that had somehow remained invisible until now. "Sir," the communications officer said, voice shaking, "we're receiving a message from the human ship." The screen changed to show Captain Jai-Ho sitting calmly in his command chair. "This is Captain Jai-Ho of the Earth Defense Vessel Seoul *, he said. "Your 24 hours have passed. You have not complied with our request to leave Proxima Centauri b. The humans you have taken hostage are under our protection." Draz tried to sound confident. "Your fleet is still outnumbered. The Morph Collective has hundreds of ships that can be here in days." Jai-Ho smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "You misunderstand," he said. "This is not our fleet. This is just the advance force." All across the galaxy, at that exact moment, human military installations revealed themselves. Ships that had been hiding their true nature now showed their power. The careful mask that humanity had worn for years was finally removed. The Galactic Council was about to learn why humans came from a world classified as a death world, and why that should have been a warning. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Alien representatives shouted and argued as emergency reports came in from across the galaxy. Human military forces were appearing everywhere, revealing technology that no one had known they possessed. Ambassador Du-hyun walked slowly to the center of the chamber. The room fell silent as he took his place at the speaker's podium. Gone was the humble, smiling diplomat they had known for years. In his place stood a man whose eyes held the cold determination of a predator. "For the last time," Du-hyun said, his voice echoing through the chamber, "the Morph Collective must withdraw from Proxima Centauri b and release all human colonists." The Morph representative Glon moved forward, his liquid metal form rippling with anger. "You dare threaten us? Even with your hidden ships, you cannot stand against the combined forces of the Galactic Council." Do-hyun didn't even look at him. Instead, he pressed a button on the podium, and the large screen behind him lit up. It showed images from across the galaxy, human warships appearing near key planets, military bases revealing themselves on moons and asteroids that had seemed empty before. "For years," Du-hyun continued, "we have endured your contempt. You mistook our patience for weakness, our diplomacy for fear." The Vrel representative stood up. "This is outrageous. You have been lying to the Council since the beginning." "No," Du-hyun replied calmly. "We simply didn't share everything, just as you didn't share everything with us." He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each alien representative. "Humans come from a world that tries to kill us every day. Extreme temperatures, natural disasters, predators that would terrify your species. We survived. We thrived. We became the apex predators of a world you would never dare visit." Images of Earth appeared on the screen. Hurricanes, volcanoes, lions hunting, and humans surviving it all. "You believed we shared our full technological capabilities. We did not. You assumed our military presence was limited. It is not. Du Hien's voice grew colder. You thought we could be bullied because we chose kindness first. This was your fundamental error. The council chamber was completely silent now. Even the most arrogant representatives began to understand what they had done. They had pushed the inhabitants of a death world too far. We chose to be nice, Du Hien said finally. Now we choose otherwise. In space, near Proxima Centauri b, Captain Jai-Ho watched as the Morph command ship tried to communicate with their home world. His sensors showed panicked activity on all 5 Morph ships. They're powering up weapons, Captain, his tactical officer reported. Jai-Ho nodded. They still don't understand. Send the signal to Commander Minho. His team can begin the ground operation. Far below on the planet's surface, Commander Minho received the message. He stood with 20 human soldiers, each wearing basic environment suits that concealed special combat armor underneath. For months, they had lived among the colonists, posing as farmers and teachers. Now it was time to reveal their true purpose. Alpha Team will secure the control center, Minho told his soldiers. Beta Team will free the hostages. Remember, minimal casualties if possible. One of his soldiers looked confused. Sir, we could just destroy the Morph forces from orbit. Why risk a ground attack? Minho checked his weapon. Because there are 50,000 human colonists down there. And because the galaxy needs to see how humans really fight. He looked up at the sky where the battle would soon begin. They've only seen what we look like when we're being polite. Now they'll see what we look like when we stop holding back. The soldiers nodded. They had all grown up on Earth, a planet that had forged humans into something uniquely dangerous, intelligent predators who had mastered their world through adaptability, teamwork, and a refusal to accept defeat. The Morph soldiers had no idea what was coming for them. Captain Jai-Ho watched the Morph ships on his screen. Their formation showed they were ready for battle, but there was something off about their movements. They seemed unsure, hesitant. They don't know what to expect from us, Jai-Ho said to his crew. They've only seen our old, weak ships. Now they see our true power, but they don't know what we can do. He pressed a button on his chair. All ships, this is Captain J.O. Remember our primary goal, protect the colonists. Secondary goal, show the galaxy what happens when you threaten humans. Begin operation. 30 human ships moved in perfect formation toward the 5 Morph vessels. The Morphs fired first, energy beams shooting across space toward the human fleet. What happened next shocked even the Morphs. The human ships moved with impossible speed, dodging the energy beams as if they knew where they would go before they were fired. Earth ships had been designed by people who evolved on a planet where quick reactions meant survival. Return fire, Jai-Ho ordered calmly. Target their weapon systems only. His ship, the Seol Asterisk, fired a series of precise shots. Each one hit exactly where it was aimed, disabling the weapons on the Lid Morph ship without destroying the vessel. The other human ships did the same, firing with accuracy that the Morphs had never seen before. In the Morph command ship, Fleet Commander Draz couldn't believe what he was seeing. How are they moving so fast? How are their shots so accurate? His tactical officer looked up from a screen, fear clear in his eyes. Sir, they're not using standard targeting systems. They're predicting our moves and firing before we even complete our actions. Fraz suddenly understood. Humans came from a planet with dangerous predators. Their brains had evolved to predict movement, to react instantly to threats. And now that same ability was being used in space combat. On the surface of Proxima Centauri b, Commander Minho and his team moved through the shadows near the main Morph base. The Morphs had turned the colony's control center into their headquarters. Inside were the computers that controlled the colony systems, and many of the Morph officers. Remember, Minho told his team over their secure comm system, they don't know how strong we really are. They expect humans to be weak. One of his soldiers smiled. Then let's show them what Deathworlders can do. The human soldiers wore simple environment suits that hid their true capabilities. Underneath were advanced combat systems designed on Earth, where gravity was higher and muscles had to be stronger. Each human soldier could move faster, hit harder, and endure more pain than any morph. Minho gave the signal. His team split into 3 groups and approached the building from different sides. The morph guards never saw them coming. The first sign of trouble for the morphs was when their outer guard simply disappeared from their posts. By the time the alarm sounded, Minho's team was already inside the building. "What's happening?" shouted the morph base commander as alarms blared. "How did they get in?" His question was answered when the door to the command room burst open. Minho walked in calmly, looking almost relaxed as he held a weapon that the morphs had never seen before. "Good evening," Minho said. "We're here for our people." The morph commander reached for his weapon, but froze when he saw how fast Minho's gun tracked his movement. There was no delay, no hesitation. The human's reaction time was impossibly quick. "You can't take back the colony," the morph said, trying to sound confident. "Even if you win here, the collective will send hundreds more ships." Minho smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Look outside." The large screen on the wall showed the space battle. The morph ships were disabled, floating helplessly while the human fleet surrounded them. It had taken less than 20 minutes. "This," Minho said, "is what happens when Deathworlders stop being nice." News of the human victory spread through the galaxy faster than anyone expected. The Vrel, who had always seen themselves as the strongest military power, called an emergency meeting of their war council. "How is this possible?" demanded the Vrel High Commander. "They were nothing but primitive Deathworlders begging for our help a week ago." His advisors showed him the battle footage from Proxima Centauri. The human ships moved with shocking speed and precision. Their weapons hit exactly where they aimed. Even more disturbing, they had shown mercy, disabling ships rather than destroying them. "They weren't weak," said one advisor quietly. "They were hiding their strength all this time." Across the galaxy, similar meetings were happening. The Talaxians, who had aligned with the morphs, quickly announced they were neutral in the conflict. No one wanted to face what humans could do. In a secure bunker beneath the Galactic Council chambers, a special meeting was called. Representatives from all major species gathered, their faces showing worry and fear. At the front of the room stood General Yuncio of Earth Special Intelligence. "Thank you for coming," she said calmly. "I understand you have questions about recent events." The Vrel representative stood up. "Questions? You revealed an entire hidden military. You had advanced technology all along. You lied to the Council for years." Yuncio smiled slightly. "We never lied. We simply didn't volunteer information you didn't ask for." She pressed a button, and a large hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed the galaxy with bright dots marking locations. "These are human military positions," she explained. "Ships, bases, outposts, all established over the past 15 years while we pretended to be new to space travel." The alien representatives stared in shock. The dots were everywhere, near their homeworlds, their trade routes, their most important colonies. "You could have attacked us at any time," said the Talaxian representative, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly in fear. "Yes," Yuncio agreed, "but we never wanted to." She changed the hologram to show Earth. "This is our home. A Class 12 death world, as you call it. Extreme temperature changes, powerful storms, deadly predators. To survive there, we had to become adaptable, resourceful, and careful." Images flashed showing Earth's many environments: frozen poles, burning deserts, dense jungles, and deep oceans. "Humans evolved to survive all of this," Yuncio continued. "We learned to watch for danger, to plan ahead, to work together, and when necessary, to fight." The morph representative, who had been silent until now, spoke up. "Why reveal yourselves now? Why not continue hiding?" Yuncio's face hardened. Because you took our people. You threatened our colony. You forced us to choose between maintaining our secret and protecting our own. It was an easy choice. On the Galactic Council's central station, Engineer Hejin returned to her old workroom. She found it exactly as she had left it days ago. Her alien coworkers stared as she entered. "You came back," said a young Vril engineer, sounding surprised. Hejin nodded. "I did. But why? After what happened? After what we now know about humans?" Hejin sat down at her workstation and began fixing a broken environmental control. "Because this is what humans do. We adapt. We move forward." She looked up at the alien engineers watching her. They seemed nervous, unsure how to act around her now that they knew humans weren't the weak creatures they had fought. "We never wanted war," Hejin explained. "We just wanted to be treated as equals. Now we are." "Were you always this capable?" asked another engineer. Hejin smiled. It was a genuine smile, not the practiced, humble one she had worn for years. "Always. We just chose to be nice about it. When that didn't work, we chose otherwise." Across the galaxy, other humans were having similar conversations. The mask had fallen away. The polite, humble newcomers had revealed themselves as the powerful, dangerous Deathworlders they truly were. And no species would ever underestimate humans again. 3 days after the battle at Proxima Centauri b, the Galactic Council held its most important meeting in centuries. Every seat was filled. Even species that rarely attended were present. Everyone wanted to see what the humans would do next. The large doors opened, and President Yunji walked in. She wore a simple white suit with no special marks or decorations. Behind her came Ambassador Du Hyun and several other human officials. The room fell completely silent. Yunji walked to the center of the chamber and looked around slowly. Many alien representatives couldn't meet her eyes. 3 days ago, she began, the Morph Collective attacked our colony and took our people prisoner. When asked to release them, they refused. They believed humans were weak. They were wrong. On the large screen behind her, images appeared showing the liberation of the human colony. Morph soldiers being taken prisoner. Human colonists being freed from the mines. "We could have destroyed the Morph ships," Yunji continued. "We could have killed their soldiers. We had the power to do so. Instead, we chose restraint." The Morph representative Glon stood up. His liquid metal form seemed smaller than before, less imposing. "What do you want from us?" "Revenge. Territory." Yunji shook her head. "No. We want peace. Real peace. Not the false peace where you thought us weak and we pretended to be." She pressed a button, and a document appeared on every screen in the chamber. "These are our terms," she said. "They are not negotiable." The terms appeared in all galactic languages. 1. Full recognition of all human territories and colonies. 2. Reparations for the Proxima Centauri attack. 3. Equal representation on the Galactic Council. 4. A mutual defense pact that would position human forces as protectors of multiple species. The room erupted in voices. Some representatives looked relieved that the terms weren't harsher. Others seemed shocked that humans would offer protection rather than domination. The Vrel representative stood up. "Why would you protect other species? You have proven you could conquer many of us if you wished." Ambassador Du Hyun answered this time. "Because that's not what humans want. We never wanted war. We prepared for it because our history taught us to be ready. But our goal was always peaceful cooperation." Later that day, Engineer Hejin sat in a meeting room with Glon, the Morph representative. Her role was to explain the technical details of the reparations the Morphs would pay to the human colonists. "I don't understand," Glon said after reviewing the documents. "You could demand 10 times this amount. Your ships control our home system now." Hejin looked up from her datapad. "The goal isn't to crush your people or take everything you have. It's to make things right and move forward." Glon's liquid form rippled in what might have been confusion. If our positions were reversed, if the morphs had your power, we would not be so generous. That's the difference, Jin said simply. Humans lived on a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned that working together was how we survived. Fighting each other only made survival harder. She gestured to the window, where they could see Earth ships patrolling alongside Vrel and Talaxian vessels in a new joint security force. We're offering the galaxy the same lesson, she said. Together, we all do better. In the human embassy, Captain Jeho met with President Yunji. His ship had just returned from escorting the captured morph vessels back to their home system. The Galactic Council has accepted all our terms, Yunji told him. They voted unanimously. Jeho wasn't surprised. They saw what we can do. They know we could have done much worse. Yunji nodded. Some of our military leaders wanted to use this opportunity to take control of key systems, to establish human dominance in the galaxy. And you disagreed? Jeho asked. We didn't survive on Earth by dominating everything, she replied. We survived by adapting, by finding balance. That's what we'll do here too. She looked out at the stars visible through the embassy window. But now they know. If they threaten us again, Jeho finished her thought. They know exactly what happens when Deathworlders decide to stop being nice. 1 year after what became known as the Deathworlder revelation, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Captain Jeho stood on the bridge of his ship, the Cial Asterisk, watching as vessels from 6 different species flew in formation with him. Status report, he said. All ships maintaining position, Captain, his first officer replied. The joint patrol is going smoothly. Jeho nodded. His ship now led the combined defense fleet, a new force created to protect the borders of all Council species. Human ships served alongside Vrel, Talaxian, and even more vessels. What would have seemed impossible a year ago was now normal. Message from the Council station, said the communications officer. They're ready for the ceremony. On the newly expanded Galactic Council station, a historic event was about to take place. The Great Hall was filled with representatives from every known species. At the center stood President Yunji, about to become the first human High Counselor of the Galactic Council. Engineer Heijin watched from the side of the room. The environmental systems he had spent years fixing now worked perfectly for all species, including humans. No one had to adjust anymore. Quite a change from when we first arrived, said Ambassador Dovian, standing beside her. Heijin smiled. Remember how they used to look at us? Like we were some strange animals that learned to talk. Now they look at us with respect, Dovian said, though I sometimes miss the days when they underestimated us. Life was simpler then. The ceremony began. The previous High Counselor, Vrel, who had once openly mocked humans, placed the ceremonial chain of office around Yunji's shoulders. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history, Yunji said to the assembled crowd. 1 year ago, we showed the galaxy our strength. Today, we show our commitment to using that strength for the good of all species. In schools across Earth, children sat in classrooms learning about the events that had changed humanity's place in the galaxy. Teacher Sangmin showed his students images of the battle at Proxima Centauri b. Before this day, he explained, humans hid our true capabilities. We pretended to be less advanced than we were. Can anyone tell me why? A young girl raised her hand. Because we wanted peaceful contact. We didn't want to scare the other species. That's right, Sangmin nodded. For 15 years, we followed what was called the humble approach. We smiled when they insulted us. We thanked them when they looked down on us. We waited patiently for them to accept us as equals. He changed the screen to show Ambassador Dohyun's famous speech to the Council. But when they threatened our people, we showed them what it means to come from Earth. We showed them why our world is called a death world. Commander Minho sat in the officers' lounge on the Galactic Council station, sharing drinks with a group that included both humans and aliens. Among them was a young Vrel officer who had fought against humans during a border skirmish years ago. "I have a question," the Vrel said, his voice curious rather than hostile. "Did humans always plan to eventually show your true power? Was it all a strategy from the beginning?" Minho considered the question. "We hoped we would never have to," he replied honestly. "But on Earth, even the gentlest creatures have defenses. The most colorful frogs are often the most poisonous. The most beautiful flowers can have the sharpest thorns." He raised his glass in a toast to understanding each other's true nature before it's demonstrated. The alien officers raised their drinks as well, the meaning of his words clear to them all. Far from the busy center of galactic politics, the human colony on Proxima Centauri B had been rebuilt. Colony Director Subin stood on a hill overlooking the settlement. New buildings gleamed in the light of the red sun. Children played in parks that had once been morph mining operations. A monument stood in the center of the main square. It showed a human hand extended in friendship, but behind it was the shadow of a clenched fist. The inscription read, ***, we choose to be nice. We can choose otherwise. Remember Proxima Centauri. ***. Across 1,000 worlds, the story was told, not as a warning of human aggression, but as a lesson about mistaking patience for weakness and kindness for vulnerability. The Deathworlders had taught the galaxy a lesson it would never forget.